Happy Monday. Welcome or welcome back. We are looking for a grasshopper. So a couple updates from last week. I finished The Priority of the Orange Tree yesterday and I loved it. I read a couple of Goodreads reviews before I started it, which is not something that I make a habit of, but I did because I'm not a big high fantasy reader. I'm usually just like, pretty low stakes type of fantasy. But I read a few Goodreads reviews and a couple of people I saw said that like the first 300 pages were just world building and they would have liked it if it had gotten started a lot sooner. And I don't disagree that the first 300 pages were world building. None over here, but I didn't necessarily mind all the world building. I thought that it was kind of necessary with how big the world was. And I actually really enjoyed learning about the characters before we got into like the craziness of the action and everything. And like how everything came together and weaved together. It was really cool. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm going to start Gold Spun next. Try and like physically read a bunch of books this year. Why not? Let's see. What other updates do I have for you? Oh, there are signs of life in my pepper plants. We've got like 3 or 4 sprouts, and I was beginning to get worried that none of them were going to sprout and that I was going to need to start fresh on all of them. So that's cool. A friend of mine gave us a bunch of snake plants. So we got some of those planted in pots and they are in the house and they are looking lovely everywhere. And there's a giant grasshopper last night jumping on our window, trying to get into the house. And so that's what we're looking for now. We're looking for this giant grasshopper. Oh, and we moved some of the furniture from the old office into the new homeschool room. So that has been a work in progress and it's feeling a little bit better on the inside to get some stuff moved over. I have a bunch of decluttering to do in the actual office because I had been doing craft kits, which just requires a whole bunch of different supplies and stuff. But it's begun, which is awesome. And so we are working on that and I'm super excited. We did get a bunch of paint samples from Home Depot. So we are trying to figure out like a cute design for her room so we can paint it. So this week, the goals would be to keep moving on the homeschool room / playroom / nursery. We would also like to possibly get the compost bin started. And then I also would like to, I have extra of the snake plants and an aloe plant that my friend had given me too with all the snake plants. And so I'm thinking I want to plant them like along the edge of the shed, but we are supposed to get a little bit of cooler weather and I think a little bit of rain this week. So we will see how much we get done outside. It might just be like a nice inside week prepping some food. Maybe we're gonna bake this week would be fun, right? I meal planned last week and I think I did a little bit too much meal planning. So I think we'll parse it down this week because Pierce is at work. I've got I've got a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. My mom will be coming, so I don't think I will do too much on Wednesday. We've got some Valentine's Day stuff to prep for. So another busy week. Hopefully a hair trim. We'll see. My bestie girl who does my hair moved back finally. And so she was feeling sick last week. So she was telling me like maybe Tuesday, maybe not. We'll see. I was supposed to get it done on Friday. So I'm going to check in with her today and see how she's feeling. And if not Tuesday, then next week when she gets back in town, because I will wait. I will wait for my girl to cut my hair. She's the best. We'll check in with you guys later. It rained and it feels so much better out here. Oh my gosh. It's still humid and kind of gross. But sorry, my handheld thing that usually steadies my hand is dead. But yeah, so it rained and it still feels really humid and Addie's running around in the puddles, but the sun is out and that is a fantastic thing. It feels great. I was on the computer working on getting tomorrow's very first video uploaded. And while that was airdropping to the computer, I was working through Lightburn, the laser program. I did my first draft of the baby name announcement sign for Our Second, and it's just so darn cute. I did it super simply. There's a couple of tweaks I need to fix, but so adorable. I would love to do some other ones I had seen on Etsy, like some daisy designs and stuff like that. I did think the idea was really cute to do some like specific shapes and stuff like that. And then I saw one that had like little cutouts on top that I was like, that would be super fun. So I'm going to play around with that idea at some point. We also moved the small desk into the homeschool room, so that is coming along nicely. Plans for the rest of the day are to play outside in this beautiful sunshine, and then I would like to empty out my big wicker basket and throw everything that's out in the kitchen and the dining room in there, because I just need to put it away and I need it to be in one place that I can just bring it around. So we're jumping in puddles. Good morning, happy Tuesday. It's about 9:45. We are about to head over to our local butcher for some meat for the next couple of weeks. But before we left, I wanted to show you the signs of life that I have in my pepper plants. Yep, so we've got 2 on this one. Oh, come on, focus for me. Focus. 1, 2. There's a little one in there. This one has one that's kind of starting to sprout, but it hasn't fully pushed through yet. And then these are sweet peppers. We've got this one, and then there's one popping in back here behind the sign too. There we go. So, and then this one doesn't have anything. So if it doesn't have anything by the end of the week, I will go ahead and replant in that one. But I'm so darn excited. So anyway, plans for today. We are going to get a bunch of snacks prepped and like lunch for the week prepped and all of that stuff. And then I put everything that was on the counters and the dining table last night into a big old basket. And so my other goal today is to work through that big old basket and get everything actually put away now that I can like think a little bit. All right, the cold has finally hit us. We're like central South Florida, and the high today is like 57, I think, something like that. So we will probably be inside just because we're Florida people, a little unprepared to stay outside for too long, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna go round her up. We're going to load up, head into town, and then come back, and I will come and check back in when we come in. I thought maybe it would be fun to tape some of the meal prepping and stuff. I had found some recipes online that I was really excited to do for like homemade snacks and all of that. So we'll see you guys shortly. Okay, we're back. It's 11:40, so about 2 hours later. Everything is unpacked. We went to the meat shack. We went to Racetrack because second breakfast. And then we stopped at the Dollar General Market that's right down the road to grab some stuff for dinner tonight, which I am making crunch wraps because they have been requested for about 2 weeks by my husband. So we were gonna make crunch wraps for dinner. We got beef, we got chicken, we got bacon, we got corn and black beans and all the things. So, does anyone else's energy just like plummet after doing like the first things of the day? Because I'm about ready to just sit my butt on the couch and not meal prep anything, but I would really like to. So the next thing I want to do is get the clean dishes off the counter and out of the dishwasher so that I have counter space to work on. And then we're gonna start with some homemade Zbars, I think. And then maybe like some oat balls or something energy-wise. And I know I need to separate out the beef that I just got too, because I got 5 pounds and I never used 5 pounds at once. So I need to separate that out to freeze some. Also, the sun is like really nice, surprisingly. I know I said earlier that we might not be outside a lot, but it's really just the breeze that's kind of chilly. The rest of like the sun feels fantastic. So I'm kind of thinking that it would be nice to get outside today. I got laundry going too. Towels are going. Busy day, trying to keep my mental state up and tell myself that I have energy so that I'm not like bringing myself further down than I already feel. And so here we go. Z-bars. Well, dishes, then Z-bars.
So it can balance. See?
You gotta pick it up and find the middle and balance it on my foot without poking me. No, you can't balance it like that. Let me see. Oh, jeez. All right, go bring that to a tree. Real quick, I had just sent my sister the story. I thought maybe you guys would think it was funny too. But so my husband and I, we haven't been sleeping well for years, really, but worse recently. And like our bed we've had for 9 years, and you can see that it dips where we sleep. And so I pulled up mattresses again, and I sent him one from Walmart that was on sale, like a queen mattress that was decently thick. And I sent it to him this morning, and he texted me back, and he goes, we have a king bed. And I was like, yeah, we do have a king bed. And I knew that. And I was just like, man, the pregnancy brain is setting in so hard. So I started looking again just a minute ago, and I found a king size bed that I sent to him, and I was like, for real this time. This is the real one. Happy Wednesday. My head feels funky today. I have been working in the playroom just a little bit. Old playroom, now homeschool room / office, trying to get a lot of like our crafty stuff put away. That junk takes forever, like going through everything, bringing the computer in and all that jazz. So a little bit of work in there this morning. My daughter was up at 5:30, so we watched a bunch of TV and hung out on the couch while I drank my coffee. My head feels funky, and I can't tell if it's because I need to eat, if it's because I need to drink water, or if it's because my pants are too tight and they are squeezing the ever-loving out of my belly. But I'm not comfortable right now. So my mom should be heading over here in like 45 minutes. It takes her like an hour to get over here, so she will be here later. She's gonna watch my daughter so that I can go to my hematology appointment. Don't know if I mentioned this last time that I was pregnant and was actually taking videos for a few months, but I have a blood disorder that I've had since kindergarten, and so my pregnancies are considered high risk. I have to see the regular OB, the perinatal specialist, and a hematologist. And now that we're out of the way, kind of, and I switched doctors, I have to drive an hour and a half almost to see all of them. So today is the hematologist. They will not let my daughter come with. So my mom is coming out to babysit her, husband is working, and so yeah, it's gonna be kind of a long afternoon. My appointment's at 3, so I have to leave here by 1:30, and then hopefully it doesn't take too long, because I would like to run to the Dollar Tree after and put together the little Valentine's Day basket for my daughter before everything gets sold out within the next week, I bet, because we're getting into February. Other than that, I am getting laundry put away. Dishes are already done. Besides that, I spent most of the day yesterday feeling funky, and we did do the Zbars, which are delicious, by the way. I had one this morning and I about fell over because it was so good. We hung out outside a little bit and not much else. We made crunch wraps for dinner. That was really good. Oh, and then yesterday afternoon, I left the window open because it was so nice to get some fresh air into the house. And it happens to be the window that I have my little peppers at, and one of my pepper plants drooped, and he's back up today, but I was so concerned. Have any of you guys ever been stuck on like one specific type of video? I was stuck yesterday on these the a-hole videos, and it's like a new obsession. I know the videos aren't new, so now I'm just like listening to drama, and apparently I love the drama. So that is my quick update for now. Oh, and the haircut got rescheduled to next week. So yeah, I'll check with you guys later. Bye. My laundry just fell out of my bed. I want to send this off, but first I have a very quick story time for us all. I had my doctor's appointment today, and if you can tell, I'm exhausted. I have a bath going and I have some tea brewing. Daughter fell asleep. It took her a little while because today's been really funky for her. My husband is working a little late. Hi, kitty cat. What's up? Oh yeah, I need to feed you too. Can you wait? Oh, no. So I had my doctor's appointment today. For reference, with the high risk issue that I have a regular OB, I see the perinatal specialist, and I see a hematologist. I have an HMO insurance plan, which requires a referral to see the hematologist. Last year, I wanted to get established with a new hematologist because I was not a total fan of my last one during my pregnancy, and they are fairly far away, about the same distance as this new one. But so I wanted to get reestablished. So knowing I had the HMO, I got in contact with a local family doctor and spent 3 months getting established with them. I had a first appointment, I had a blood work appointment, and I had a follow-up appointment after the blood work. After everything, spending multiple hours in this waiting room each time with my 3-year-old. After the third appointment, this doctor went through my blood work and not only gave me evidence that she didn't listen to a word of my history, but also told me that even though my platelets, which help your blood clot, side information, even though my numbers for it were lower than a normal person's numbers, they were not low enough for her to approve giving me the referral that I had gone to her for. And at the time, since I was not pregnant yet, I said, that's not cool, but I've had this issue since kindergarten. I know enough information to know when my numbers are low enough, so I will get my blood tested myself every year through the lab and just keep an eye on it, basically. Which, like, maybe isn't the greatest thing because I don't have an actual doctor to refer back to. But at the same time, I've had this since kindergarten. I know when it's good, and it's very steady for the most part. And the only reason that it matters now is because I'm pregnant. So I go to see the OBGYN and the perinatal specialist, both of which give me a referral to a hematologist that they usually refer their patients to. And so I get scheduled with this new hematologist, another hour and 20 minutes away from me, just like the other two doctors. And today was my first appointment with them to get established. I get into the office. This office did a really great job trying to work with me. But the front desk ladies go, "Oh, Chelsea, your insurance is an HMO. You need a referral from your primary. And your primary listed is this local doctor." And I said, "But I have referrals from both my OB and the specialist." And they said, it doesn't really matter because it's not what the insurance needs for the referral. So they call their financial lady and she comes out and she goes, "Do you recognize the name of your primary?" And I was like, "Yes." I spent 3 months trying to get her to give me a referral and she refused, even though this is a chronic issue that I have had since kindergarten, that I have been always treated by a specialist for. And she was shocked. And so we basically decide that I will self-pay, and they only charged me the copay amount, and then we're going to bill me the rest. I sat back down to do my paperwork and wait to be called back. As I'm sitting down, I decide to call the local office here because I'm, number one, ticked, and number two, hopeful that they will push a referral through so that I don't get billed the extra $100 because this lady didn't give me a referral to a hematologist back in October. I was on the phone with the front desk lady at that office and basically told her that this doctor is costing me an extra $100 and that she needs to put the referral through now, and this is the information. The front desk lady kept kind of needing to talk to me for a while, and so I get pulled back to this appointment, and the poor lab tech guy is trying to take my vitals, and I'm on the phone with this lady, and I kept telling him I'm so sorry. I am not the person to be on the phone while I'm at the doctor's office talking to somebody else. I'm just trying to figure this out, and I'm really worked up right now. And the lady on the phone goes, "So when is your appointment?" And I was currently, it's right now. He is taking my blood pressure. And I said, "And it's probably elevated." And he goes, "Blood pressure is normal, but your heart rate is pretty high." He goes, "But I get that." So he brings me to the room, and the doctor's ready, which was really cool. And he's "You know what?" He's "Do your thing," because I told him to. I apologized. And he goes, "You know what? I'm right next door. Knock when you're ready." And I was "All right, cool." He comes back a couple minutes later to check on me. And he walks in the room, and I was I cannot. And he goes, "Put him on speaker. I don't care." I was "Okay." So I put him on speaker, and the lady from the administration office, or from the local office, the admin lady, she goes, "Just call me back when you're done." And I was "Okay." And so I hung up. I had a great appointment. The doctor was super understanding, and he was awesome. And I really appreciated the hematologist's office at this point. I leave their office, I get checked out, and I get back in the car, and I first call my insurance company. After being on hold with them for 10 minutes without anyone answering yet, I ended up hanging up and calling back the lady from the local doctor's office because it was 4:00 and I know they close at 5. I didn't want him to get bogged down with closing things and not be able to answer the phone. So I call her back and I'm "Listen, I'm not upset with you." It's "But this is ridiculous." This is something that could have entirely been avoided had this doctor done what she should have done last year when I requested the referral, and not thought that she could take care of something that has been taken care of by a specialist for 23 years. So she basically tells me that the doctor needs to call me back because she still needs to approve the referral. So anyway, we hang up. And I end up calling my insurance back again, sat on hold for like 12 minutes, and then I spoke to somebody. And so we were on the phone for about 45 minutes total, switched my primary care to my OBGYN. And when I got home, I missed the phone call back from the family doctor here in town. And I decided that my energy was not going to be spent on that tonight and that I would deal with it tomorrow because she said she would call me back again tomorrow. But at the same time, I will be finally leaving a Google review and looking into possibly reporting her for like denying care or something. So I'm exhausted. I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna feed my cats because they're mad at me. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Hopefully with better news about all of this, or even just like moving on. No news about all of this would be really great because this is just exhausting. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I will talk to you next week.